Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a simple pencil skirt with lining. So here I have both the front and the back bodies here folded into two. This is for the front and this is for the back, and you can see where the front stops. So I have extra 2 inches at the back, and that is for my zipper allowance and for the slit I'm going to add there. So on top here I'm going to draw a straight line, and this is going to serve as my starting line. After doing that, I'm going to take my measurement from there. So from here I'm going to take down 9.5 inches, which is my her waist to her hip is 9 inches, but I just made this 9.5 because I added sewing allowance to it. So after that I'm going to take the length of the skirt, which is 23 inches, but I'm going to add extra 2 inches for folding it, so it's a total of 25 inches. So I'll just mark 23 inches and mark 25 inches as well. And then I'll just cut off the excess fabric. So this is what I'm going to be working with. So this is where I'm going to be taking my measurements from the front side. So from there I'm going to take her round waist measurement by 4, which is 7 inches. So I'm going to mark 7 inches on here, and then I'm going to add 1 inch, and that 1 inch is for my darts, for when I take out my darts, so I'm not short of fabric. Then I'm also going to add 2 inches for sewing allowance. You can make this 1.5 inches if you choose to. Then for the hip, for I'll measure her round hip. Her round hip is 33 inches divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches. Then I'm also going to add 2 inches there for my for her sewing, for the sewing allowance for making this. Then I'll come to the length of this dress, and I will just subtract 1.5 inches from what I have on the hip line, and the total of what I have including the sewing allowance is 10.5 inches. So I'm going to take out 1.5 inch from it, and I'm going to mark 9 inches on the bottom part of this skirt, just to create a pencil skirt effect on there. And that's it. I'll just mark that 9 inches there. Now I will come to the top of the skirt, and it's time to insert the darts. But before that, I will just connect all the points together like this. From the waistline I connected it down to the hip line, and from the hip line down to the length of the skirt. Now if after sewing this and you find out that it's too tight on the knee, then you just have to reduce it. Then on here I'm going to mark 4 inches, which is her nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. And then I came down and I also marked 4 inches. So I will just draw a straight line to connect the points. I just marked ½ inch on both sides, and then I'll draw a straight line to connect it down. After drawing this straight line, I'm going to connect the ½ inches I marked on both sides down to the 4 inches line like this. So remember, I marked ½ inch on both sides of the 4 inches. This does not look good, but I'll just readjust it, and I made sure to sew it well when I was taking in the darts. So this is what it's looking like. This is the dart. Now on the side of the skirt, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. So I'll just go up and I'll mark 1 inch. And this is going to be cut on both the front and the back. So I'll connect that 1 inch to one side of the dart, as you can see here. After doing that, I'll go to the other side and I'm going to come down by ½ inch. This ½ inch is going to be just on the front side. I'm going to cut it just on the front side, and after marking the ½ inch, I connected it to the other side of the dart. Now when you pinch it, when you sew in the dart, this is what the line is going to look like. So to cut this, I'll just fold in the 2 inches at the bottom. I'll fold it in and then I'll go ahead and pin it to stay in place. I'm just making sure I have 2 inches so I can go ahead and pin, and then I'm going to go ahead, but on the zip side, on this hip line that I just pointed, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches there, and this is to avoid any zip bulge. I'll come up to the waistline and I'm going to mark 1 inch, and at the bottom here I will also mark 1 inch, and then I will just go ahead to connect all the lines. Like I said, this is just to avoid any zip bulge, so our zip stays perfectly on the body and not bulging out. So after doing that on the zip side, I will go ahead now to cut this out. Then to cut down the ½ inch, like I told you earlier, it's just for the front part. So I'm going to take up the front and cut out that ½ inch that I came down by. And when I want to cut for the up 1 inch that I went up, I'm just going to cut it on both the front and the back. And so this is it for the front and this is it for the back piece of this skirt. So I will also go ahead and notch my dart area where I'm going to be inserting my darts, and then I'll go ahead and cut out the zip side of this skirt. And after doing that, I'll also notch the hip line. I'll just pick it up and notch it a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and unpin the parts where I folded. So this is what the skirt is going to be looking like. So this piece here is for the front piece. You can see it's still folded into two. This is how you want yours to turn out. It's still folded into two, and this is for the wrong side, already cut into two, because at the back there's going to be a zipper and there's also going to be a slit. So to cut the lining, I have my lining here, so I'm going to fold it into two. This is for the front piece. I'm going to fold it into two, and I'm going to place them together. Like the folds, the parts that are folded are going to align perfectly. And also remember that I also folded back the 2 inches I left at the bottom, and then I'll just go ahead and pin this carefully. Now carefully pin it down. Make sure that the folded part of the fabric and the lining are on that together. So this is folded into two, so I'll just go ahead and trim this out. So after cutting it, I'm going to go to the lining and I'm going to cut out 2 inches again. Don't worry, I'm going to show you why I am doing all of this. So I'll just mark 2 inches at the hem of the lining and I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So when I open it up, you will see that the lining is obviously shorter than the main fabric. So this is the lining. I'm just going to place it on top of the main fabric so you can see how short it is on the main fabric. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down to, you can see I took it down to the bottom and then I sewed it. So the lining here is facing the right side of the fabric. So after sewing the bottom part, I just lifted it up. I'll just lift it up this way. As you can see, I will just lift the lining up to meet the top of the main fabric, and I'll go ahead and also sew on the sides. So after sewing it, I'll go ahead and cut off the excess that I have at the side, at the top. Now I will go ahead and flip it over to the right side. So when I flip it over to the right side, you can see how neat and nice this is. So this is why I left 2 inches and this is why I did everything I have done so far. So this is what it's looking like inside, and these are the sides. So I will go ahead the same way I did it for this front piece. I will go ahead and do it for the back piece. So I already went ahead to attach my darts to it. You can see my V-shaped line darts. So these are the 2 back pieces. I've also gone ahead to attach the linings to it, and I also went ahead to attach my darts on there. So now I'm going to place the both back pieces together like this. And from the bottom, I'm going to go up and I'll mark 7 inches. And this is for the slits. And from the top, I'll also go down, and because I'm going to be attaching a 1.5 inch band, I started from 1.5 inches all the way down to 8 inches. Now for the slits, you can make it 8 inches. You can measure yourself to know how long you want your slits to be. So this is 1 inch. I just measured 1 inch and I'm going to sew it just along here, from here down to here. And after doing that, this is what the skirt, so this is the slit and this is the zipper allowance. Now it's time to place them on the front piece. So I'll go ahead and place them like this, but before I continued, I just went ahead and used a loose stitch to just sew up the zipper allowance by 1 inch, which I loosened later. So I'll go ahead and shape in these skirts on both sides. So I've done that, I've shaped it, and now I will just loosen the stitch I made on the zip line. Now I have opened both the zipper and where my zipper is going to be staying, and also my slit. I sewed them up before so that I'll be able to place them properly on the front side to sew. So this is what the skirt is looking like right now. So this is the top, and I'm going to attach the darts to, not darts, sorry, I'm going to attach the band, the waistband to it. So now I'm going to measure around the waistline from the zip allowance I gave. I'll just measure it all round. And after measuring, I got 30 inches. So I cut out this band of 32 inches. The length of this band is 32 inches. So I cut it out, and the width is 1.5 inches. So if you open it like this, I went ahead to iron it. So open like this, you can see I ironed in ½ inch on both sides and then folded it into two to have 1.5 inches. So I'm going to take it on my waistline, and then I'm going to fold this side like this, place it on my waistline, and I'm going to go ahead to sew it, open up that ½ inch and sew it all along by ½ inch. And after doing that, I will turn it to the other side and sew it again to cover up the raw edges. I mistakenly deleted that part, but this is what the band is going to look like. You can see how neat it is. Because I folded in like ½ inch at the two sides before sewing it all round. So this is the zipper allowance. I'll go ahead and just attach my zip to it, and on this slit part I'll go ahead and iron in my hemming gum to it. So I'll just put it in this way and use a hot pressing iron to press it down, and it stays put. So if I want, I can leave it this way so that one can overlap one, or if I want, I can also go ahead and put hemming gum on both sides, so none is overlapping anyone. It just stays like this. Whichever one you want to do, it's totally up to you. And that is basically it on making this pencil skirt. Please, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. So this skirt is for a two-piece crop top with a flare sleeve. I have the video of this crop top with flare sleeve on my channel. I'm going to link it below, and this is the end result of this dress. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.